Hi everyone, and welcome to week 5. This week we're focusing on two incredibly important and related topics: managing the services that run on your system and managing the software that's installed. We'll take a deep dive in a systemctl command to control our services, and then we'll learn how to use the DNF package manager to install and remove applications. Let's get started. To practice managing a service, first we need one to work with. I'm going to install the Apache web server, which is a very common service. The package is called httpd. I'll install it with the command sudo dnf install httpd tac-y. We'll cover the dnf command in more detail in the second half of the video. It seems to already be installed. So let's check on its status. The primary tool for this is systemctl. If I type systemctl status httpd, we get a lot of useful information. Most importantly, you can see right here that it's inactive and dead and disabled. This means it's not running, and it's not set to automatically start when the system boots. To start the service for our current session, we use the start command. Sudo systemctl start httpd. Now, if I check the status again, sudo systemctl status httpd, you can see that it's active and running. The web server is now running. To stop it, we simply use the stop command. Sudo systemctl stop httpd. Checking the status again with sudo systemctl status httpd will show it's back to inactive, dead. Starting a service is temporary. It won't survive a reboot. To make a service start automatically every time the system boots, we need to enable it. The command is sudo systemctl enable httpd. You can see it created a symbolic link, which is how systemd knows to start it. One thing that's interesting on this is that it's enabled, so it will run on a reboot. However, it is still inactive and dead. Starting and enabling are two different things. Starting it starts it for the current session. Enable it will mean that on reboot, it will start. So a very useful shortcut you'll use all the time is the now flag, tac now. Often you want to enable a service and start it at the same time. Instead of running two separate commands, systemctl start and systemctl enable, you can just run sudo, and actually to do this right, let's do sudo sudo systemctl disable httpd. And now if I go back and I go to system, sudo systemctl status httpd, you'll see it's disabled and still inactive and dead. So let's try our new command. Sudo systemctl enable now httpd, the name of the service. So if we go back and go system, sudo systemctl status httpd, we'll see it's active and running and it's enabled. This does both jobs in one step. And to prevent it from starting at boot, we use the disable command. Sudo systemctl disable httpd. And let's go systemctl status httpd. And we'll see it's still active and running, but it's disabled. So we can go sudo systemctl stop httpd. And again, if we go back up to status, you can see it's disabled and inactive and dead. Finally, if you need to see the log files for a specific service to troubleshoot a problem, you can use the journalctl command. Sudo journalctl. The TACU flag lets us specify the unit or service. So sudo journalctl TACU httpd will show us all the recent log entries just for the Apache web server. Control-C to get out. Another extremely useful journalctl command is journalctl tacf. So we sudo journalctl tacf. Tacf stands for follow. This gives you a live, real-time view of all the logs being written to your system. As things happen, new lines will appear at the bottom. This is invaluable for troubleshooting problems as they occur. To exit this view, you just press Control-C. Now let's talk more about how we got that HTTPD package in the first place. On Fedora and other Red Hat systems, we use the DNF package manager to install, update, and remove software. If you're looking for a piece of software but don't know the exact package name, you can use DNF search. Let's say I'm looking for a system monitor. I can type DNF search htop. The system searches the software repositories and shows me a package named htop that looks like what I want. To install it, I'll use the command sudo dnf install htop. I'm adding the TACY flag to automatically say yes to any confirmation prompts. Just as important as installing software is keeping it up to date. The DNF update command will check all the software in your system against the repositories and install any available updates. This is one of the most important commands you'll run as a system administrator. And it's how you get the latest security patches and bug fixes. It's a good practice to run this regularly. If I don't do the TAC-Y, this will show me all the files, which is quite a bit, that's going to get updated. I would actually not use the TAC-Y with the DNF update command because it's good to see exactly what you're about to do. So let's go ahead and install. Wow, that was a lot of packages. It's usually a good idea to run a sudo DNF update before installing other packages like we did with htop, especially because if you notice through this, there was kernel updates. And usually when I get a kernel update, it's a great idea to go ahead and reboot your system. But let's go back to that htop software that we installed. So let's look to see what that is. So you can see htop here is running, and it's a great interactive visual representation of all the processes that's running. So let's go ahead and quit with Q. And now if we want to remove a package, that's going to be as simple as sudo, it's clear, sudo dnf remove and the package name. In our case, that was htop. DNF will take care of removing the program and all its files. And that's a quick look at managing services and software. We've covered the essential systemctl command for controlling services, the journalctl command for viewing log files, and the DNF command for installing and removing packages. These are tasks you'll perform all the time as a system administrator. Be sure to practice them in this week's lab. As always, if you have any questions, post them in the Q&A forum. Thanks for watching.